Welcome to Chapter 2. Now what we're going to do is show you how to set up the underlying P&L graph so we can look at a chart and visually see where our fence posts are in this trade. To do that, come to the bottom right hand corner. You see underlying P&L graph. Click on the little arrow to open the window. Now when you open the window, there's a couple things on here we need to adjust to make it a nice and clean chart. So to do that, first right hand click in the background, click on Style, click on Settings. In the Settings window here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the grid lines. The reason to get rid of the grid lines, it will clean up the chart. Now once you're in the screen, a couple other things you could do, should you choose so, is change what color the background is, the color of the bars, all that different information. We're going to leave that as it is at default for right now. So then click the Apply button, then click OK. You'll notice we just get a nice white background now. The second thing we want to do is get rid of this graph here showing our P&L for our position. The reason for that is we don't want this profit and loss tracking on here. It's too much noise because we can still see our profit and loss in our trade up here. To get rid of that, again, right click in the background, select Studies, click on Edit Studies. You'll notice you'll have Think Back P&L up here at the top. You have two choices here. You can right click on it and click on Remove Study, or if you might possibly want to look at that later, you can just select Hide Study. Either way, it won't matter. It will take it off the screen. Click Apply, then click OK. Now we just have a nice blank stock chart. But what we want to do is have this chart give us just the information on the same day we're looking at for January 5th where we found our trade. To do that, come down here and you'll notice on the bottom right hand side it will start listing the date that you're highlighting. Make sure that highlights on the 5th of January. And once you've highlighted the 5th of January, it takes a little practice, click and drag backwards. Doesn't matter how far back you drag. We'll just drag back about 6 months. Now, once we zoom in, you'll notice we get these red dashed lines on the chart. Those are expiration Friday. So on the chart, we can now see, when we're zoomed in a little bit closer, each expiration Friday on the chart. Now what we like to do is put in the fence posts, same as we did in class, to show you where the break-even lines, or excuse me, not the break-even lines, but where the short options are and the options we sold, which are the options we sold. To do that, real simple. Start with the put side, look up in your put options. You'll see here where it says -1, that'll be the strike price that you sold. That'll be the 360. We want to add in a line at the 360 showing us where this short option lives. So to do that, in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see a little arrow here. If you click on that, that'll give you the choice of drawing tools you want to use. We're going to click on price level. Once you've selected price level, come back down, start on the day that you're on, or the couple days back, whichever, it won't really matter. What we're going to do is start the day we're on, find about 360, and you kind of have to get as within government closeness here, just kind of fudge it a little bit. Click once to turn the tool on, move it over a little bit, click again to set it. Then you'll notice you have a little bit of a line right there, a little green line. Well, we're going to edit that line's properties. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on that line, click on Edit Properties. We'll get a property window that pops up here. Now what we want to do is change a little bit of information. If you want to change the color of the line, the style of the line, the width of the line, feel free to do so. I'm going to leave it as solid. We'll leave it green, but what I'm going to do is change the width so that we can see the line a little bit easier. Change that to a 3. Then you'll see where it says begin point and end date. Well, let's get this to begin on the same date that we're looking at, January 5th. Let's also come down here to the end date, and since we're using February options, you can see February expiration, let's have this line end at February expiration. To do that, open up the little calendar window. Same as the calendar window we used before, click the small arrow to go forward 1 month. Now in this calendar window, the dark green highlighted box is going to be expiration Friday. Well, since we're trading the rut, we know that these options expire on the Thursday prior to the third Friday of the month. So in this case, it'll be February 19th. Click on that, click OK. You'll see where that becomes relevant in a little bit. Now you notice our line got a little bit thicker. It's a little bit easier for us to see. Now we want to add one to our call side. To do that, we look up at our calls and say, okay, the call we sold is the 620 call. To add that line on the chart, we come up here to where it says 620. We're going to highlight January 5th. Click, move it over a little bit, won't really matter how far. Click again. Now we want to edit these properties as well. Right-click on the line, click on Edit Properties. Same steps as before. Make sure our day begins on January 5th, the day we're looking at. And the end date we want to have match up, again, to the February expiration. So we click over to February, and we move to the Thursday before expiration Friday, since we're trading the Russell. We're going to, again, change that width a little bit thicker just so you can see it on your screens a little bit easier, and click the OK button. Now we've got two green lines on our chart indicating where our short options are, meaning if we had placed a contingency order in real life, this is where the contingency order would live. Now what we want to do is make the chart match up what we'd be seeing in real life. When I put my arrow over that last bar, you'll see it says 1-7. Well, we're actually still on the 5th of January, as you can see from our date up here. So what we're going to do is go back. When you're using Think Back and you're using the charts to go forward one day or backwards one day, you'll use the little arrows on either side of the slider bar. So to go back, we click on the left arrow to go back 2 days, and there we're looking at January 5th, 2009. Now everything looks like it would in real life were we trading this Russell trade as it was if it was today. So there's a couple of steps here that we're going to go into next. We're going to talk about how to move your chart forward, how to watch and manage your positions, and that'll be in Chapter 3, which is coming up next.